here's some of the rules. If you've never seen the A7FL before, no pads, full contact. That means you can get tackled, and a wrap tackling is preferred. If you lead with your head, that's a penalty. 7-on-7. The quarterback starts with the ball, just like we did when we were kids playing outside. Traditional football rules with 4 quarters, 15 minutes each. Each team gets 3 timeouts. There's 3 challenges per half, which is an A7FL exclusive. No kicking, which leads to our 3-on-1 throw-off rule, the most exciting play in professional football. Defenders must wrap tackle, and as you can see, the field is 100 yards from stem to stern, end zone to end zone, but it is 37 yards across from sideline to sideline. A touchdown is 6 points. You have and when you have no kicks, no extra points, no gimmies, 1 point from the 5-yard line, 2 points from the 10-yard line, and I feel like Howard Letterman. James, back to you.
But right now,
the wind picking up here as the Army will throw off for the 3-on-1.
the whistle blows, and it's going to be a line drive over the head of Mamba Stacks. He's going to have to corral this ball. He does so at his own 10. Tries to make a spin move across the 20, but down at the 23, and that is where the Hawks will take over. To the far side, they have a man in motion, and they're going to give it up to Liberty, and Liberty is swarmed for a loss of close to 5 yards. Michael Liberty, known as Sweetness. Number 9, Bobby Newman. One big play he's known as under center. And a rare I formation we see. The play action, it's going to be off the hands and dropped by one of the most massive men that you may ever see. Joseph Williams, the second, normally an offensive lineman.
But they're playing it just a little bit too safe here with this Army defense, giving them a little too much respect, in my opinion, for a first drive.
And I'm not sure if Williams, the second, is the prime candidate for a play such as that. Has to be pushing well over 300 pounds.
And it'll be 3rd and 15 here, James.
So one big play. Has to make one big play to try and move the chains and keep this drive going. Instead, it's a quarterback draw, and he is wrapped up with relative ease.
And they'll throw this one off.
And it will head over to the near side, and it will fly out of bounds close to the 40-yard line of the Army.
Direct handoff.
So the give is to all-purpose from the quarterback. Scoot Dog is going to get up to the 45, pick up 5 yards. And all-purpose already going. Scoot Dog gives it up again to all-purpose, but all-purpose is going to have to scoot around. It's going to be a block in the back. The quarterback, Scoot Dog, unfortunately for his team, the Baltimore Army, is going to commit the illegal block in the back. That's going to be a 10-yard penalty for Scoot Dog. And they're going to play it very safe here, just a handoff, and it's going to go for no gain. And the down did not count off the block in the back. We will see Scoot Dog fire the ball up to the far sideline. It's underthrown, and it's going to fall incomplete. Contest here in the A7FL. That last pass, by the way, intended for prime time up the far sideline. And the punt situation, throw-off, will fall out of bounds, as, quite frankly, it always should. Teams almost roll the dice a little bit too much when they allow a return on the punt. Of course, in a kickoff situation, they have no choice but to have the return. But they will not allow Mamba Stacks to get the ball.
Also, highlights, videos, articles, and more. Head on over to A7FL.com. And also be sure to follow us on Facebook, A7FL, the Twitter machine at the A7FL, and on Instagram. Slide into our DMs at A7FL.
Don't be afraid to slide right in there. As under center, one big play, hands to Michael Liberty, protecting the ball very well, getting up to the 25. A flag is down, however, and it's going to be a hold against the Hawks.
Now playing more towards the tight end, James.
No man in the backfield over one big play as he whips it over the middle, but nice defensive play, tipped up and down. A great play made by the Honey Badger.
Newman had a little bit of time there, threw a little bit of a wobbler into double coverage, trying to hope Liberty's speed would carry him. Had time, threw a confident ball, but it just got tipped up in the air. Liberty not able to create enough space.
Now the backfield will be emptied on the retry. Under pressure, rolling out of it, and the smart play by one big play is to throw it out of play. And that's something that we did not see a lot of in the first game from the New Jersey Renegades. For the Hawks, it's 3rd down and 20 for one big play, but he's going to go for it all here over the middle. But some great coverage.
The Patterson U coming up in our game, just in our first of our double-decker on Twitch, and that one will go out of play at the 40-yard line as the Army will come back onto the field.
One would hardly blame him, but instead it's going to be Scoot Dog rolling to his right, firing down the near sideline. He's got a man open, but unfortunately for Mr. Barbecue Chicken, just overthrown there.
If you're a fan of the trenches, it's a great game to watch. These guys got great skill up front. Like I said, both sides of the ball.
It's going to be Dreads this time. Mamba Stacks is going to join the party. He's going to get the tackle there along with Bigga Hayes.
And these are the things that we're going to have to probably point out. Maybe they're not the flash, that you see with a guy breaking a long run, but let's rewind back here. Look at the kick-out block by this offensive lineman on a guy that's twice his size. He's going to be lined up in the center. He's going to down block on the end. It's almost like a trap play. I mean, he's giving up half his weight. He's pushing him right out of the box there. The Hawks did a good job of swallowing it up.
And a good single-leg takedown. And create some friction on the line. 2 men on the line, 1 linebacker.
3rd and 10. Scoot Dog right over the middle. It's prime time, rather, on the near side. Crosses the 25, gets beyond the 20-yard line. A huge gain. And it's going to be another empty backfield after a very solid throw from Scoot Dog. He's going to take another crack at it. Good protection, lobs it up to the corner in favor of Dreads. And we're going to get a flag down. Going to be pass interference, but on who?
By Scoot Dog under pressure.
Dreads shifts to his left, right up the middle. And he's in for the Army touchdown.
Great break off the handoff, finding a lane inside, driving it right down the throats of the Hawks. And that'll be the first score of the game. And the Army heading out of the first quarter with a lead, and it looks like they're going to go for 2 here.
Well, runs are always made within the first 2 yards of touching the ball. Look at this move that Dreads puts on right there.
Finding a way around the block, around a defender number 12, just shifting his hips a little bit, faking to the right, cutting left, and dancing into the end zone. And it's 6-0 Army.
Ball set up on the 10-yard line, which means that the Army will be going for 2 points here to try and make it 8-0. 5-yard line would be the 1-point conversion. 10-yard line, the 2-point conversion. No extra points, traditional extra points here in the A7FL, but Scoot Dog is under pressure, and it's intercepted. It cannot be run back here in the A7FL.
But they've given up one of the highest, they're, I believe, fourth, in defensive scoring. They've given up 92 points on the season, one of the highest in the A7FL.
Mamba Stack started from his own 10-yard line, dragged initially, and finally is brought down. Possession, those two are the instances where the clock is stopped. As we get a handoff going around to the far right side. Up the sideline he goes, stepping out of bounds is Bigga Hayes. And he crosses the 50-yard line for a big gain.
The Hawks have set the tempo into the second quarter. We see it here, just that big loop into the run. One cut. He got tripped up, I think, on his own feet trying to cut up field. But they'll just switch sides, and it will be Hawks ball as we start our second quarter.
So it is the end of the first quarter, 6-0. The Baltimore Army on top of the Hawks. Glad you can join us here from St. John Vianney High School in Holmdel, New Jersey for the second of our 4 live games of the A7FL. So off the big gain, it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Hawks. Under center is one big play. It's tossed to Liberty, almost clotheslined.
Stop, and the run game. Ryan was talking about the pass rush of this Army defense, but their run defense today has been spectacular.
It was Royds getting that last stop for the Army, and straight up the middle for just a gain of about 5 yards. Bigga Hayes on the carry situation. Just one receiver split out. 2 receivers actually split out wide here for the New Jersey Hawks. It's Bigga Hayes in the backfield. Liberty to the far side of the field. Back to pass. He's going to step in the pocket. Going to take himself down the near sideline. Can he get to the marker? He cannot.
And that's the first time we see Dino Stevens today. The Freak will get the credit for the tackle.
Nice job by the Freak coming all the way across the field. So it's an interesting situation now. 4th down and 2 from the Army 37-yard line. They probably should go for here to here, and it looks like they will. The Hawks will roll the dice on 4th down and 2. No field goals here in the A7FL, so no way to get anything other than a touchdown. It would seem to be redundant to try and punt this ball here with the throw-off, of course.
Watch for Nike Lofton at the bottom of your screen or Mike Liberty. Both of those guys have dangerous breakaway speed and may be the best option for Newman.
Almost a false start there on Big Hayes in the backfield, but instead it's going to be a direct carry and stuffed line.
And I don't mean to question play calling, but you have two dynamic runners. You have two dynamic speedsters up and down on either side.
Oh, it's going to be offsides.
Wow, they gave him the penalty.
Offsides on the Baltimore Army.
Let's take a look here on that line. And just a half-second hesitation. I may want to run that one back. I may want to re-see that because you can see the defensive end jump off just a little bit.
Well, it was Royds who made the stop, but it's going to be 1st down and 10 off the critical mistake from the Army. Offsides on a 4th down and 2, a new life for the Hawks.
And they'll be on the 32-yard line. Newman under center. It'll be 1st and 10. Liberty at the top of your screen.
2 men on the top of the screen there, Matt.
That's Nike Lofton with in the slot. The play action. That one's got to be
side, and it looked like it was Big Hayes who slipped in the backfield. That pass intended for Sparks, number 88. Not a great play. It looked like it was a broken play once the running back, Big Hayes, slipped in the backfield. So that brings up 2nd and 10.
And you say that broken play, that was supposed to it looked like it was going to be a play action, but the halfback just completely stumbled, got his cleat stuck in the turf.
Some beautiful turf here in Holmdel. St. John Vianney, a powerful athletics program here in Monmouth County.
I was walking along the campus today, my first time here, and growing up in New York City and just looking at the mass amount of space and the mass amount of money put into this athletics program, it's very impressive, and it looks like we got a false start.
Ooh, and the Hawks are really not liking that call. There was contact made as well by a defender for the Army, but the referee is going to say that it was the Hawks that caused the Army to jump.
And they'll be moved back, and it will be 2nd down.
It's a 2nd down at 15. Of course, that play not on a 4th down like the offsides was for the Army, but a little bit of an offsetting nature there from a yards perspective. So the Hawks looking for their 4th victory of the season. Once again, we mentioned that they haven't faced off against great competition so far. This may be their biggest test, despite their opponents, the Army, having only 1 victory.
Under center, Newman.
Liberty is in motion, and he will get the ball. Trying to cut it up the middle, hit initially near the line of scrimmage, and that will not be a big gain at all. Some excellent defense played by the Army.
Good intuitive play, though, by Liberty. Found the snap, found the hole inside. You see it here in the motion. Cuts right up field. Tried to cut under and around. There was a little bit of a lane. He sent his defenders to the right, but couldn't go to the left, and nearly got pants for his troubles. It'll be 3rd down.
Just a 1-yard gain, so it's going to be 3rd and 14 for the New Jersey Hawks. Always animosity between the teams from New Jersey and the teams from Baltimore. Here, LJ Smith always is one to touch on that. As it's Liberty in motion again. A lot of pressure coming off the edge. Gonna whip it to the sideline. He makes the catch. But no, it says the referee on the near side is gonna say that the ball hit the ground, falls incomplete. to bring up 4th down and long. And here's an interesting decision here because it's 4th and 14, but from the Army's 36.
And if you're in the offensive zone, you'd rather just not throw it off and waste a play if you're going to gain, an extra 10 yards out of it. It's a little bit of a risky call, especially against this front three, but when you're down 6 and you're the Hawks and this is looking to be a low-scoring game, taking the chance might be the sucker punch you need to gain a little bit of momentum to try to tie this one up.
Derek H89 makes an interesting point on Twitch. He says, how could there be offsides if there's no snap?
Well, if you're looking at if the referee is doing his job correctly, he's looking at the quarterback's hands in correlation and also listening to the count and cadence. If you look on your screen, he makes that motion, and that motion is the entire key to figuring out if it's an offside.
He is under pressure, though. Almost a hole in the backfield. Still with it. One big play. And he's just going to go throw it just a little bit wide of Mamba Stacks, who's complaining that he himself was being held. And that was 4th down, so that is a turnover on downs.
It did look like he had a hand on him. He had a hand on Mamba Stacks, the Dreads, who was covering him. We'll look again on the replay. Newman running to his left, looking for some sort of help, just has to completely bail out, cut across field, waiting for a receiver, going inside the hash marks, throwing it in coverage, nearly swatted down. Great heads-up play by Newman. And
maybe that left hand had the jersey.
it's a little tick. It could be a call. It could not be a call. It's all upon what the ref saw. And there's no flag being thrown, no challenge being made. And the Army will get the ball back with a 6-0 lead and 6:12 left on the clock.
It would have been a harsh one, but instead it's Scoot Dog with all-purpose in the backfield. Fakes the handoff. Nice lob, but over the head and incomplete.
And Derek H89 thanking you, James, for that explanation and for our explanation. It's 2nd down and 10. The Army in the lead. Scoot Dog will be under center.
We love interacting with our fans, of course, and if you have any other questions for us, put it up in the Twitch or the Facebook chat, and we would be more than glad to answer any and all of your questions.
And be sure, if you're watching us on Twitch and you're not following us, if you're not subscribing to us, if you're not sending us bits or sending us a little bit of love, you need to do that right now. Be sure that you are a part of the A7FL Nation and follow us, like us across all platforms, especially here on Twitch and Facebook Watch. We want you to be with us every single week.
Scoot Dog finds his man on the far side. That's going to be enough for the 1st down. Breaking free and stepping out of bounds.
Mr. Caparot asking, why isn't Tebow in this league? Hey, Ryan, can we get in a call to Timmy Tebow? I don't know if he's doing anything for the Mets in the minor league, but he might be looking for a job on the Army next season.
He'd kill this league as a defensive end. As a defensive end,
Oh, still people are doubting his quarterback ability.
I'm not, but a good quarterback with his size makes for a really good defensive end.
Yeah, he could play in the A7FL. It's 7-on-7. It's the return of two-way football.
It was Quan Tillman, by the way, on the catch, which brings up the 1st down, 1st and 10 for the Army from their own 48-yard line. And it's going to be handed off to All-Purpose, trying to slice his way up the field. Took a bit of a hit as he was going down, and he pops right back up. I don't think he really was a fan of that hit, which may have come in a little bit late.
And if you're watching this game right now, head on over to Twitter, head on over to Instagram, send Tim Tebow a link, send him some footage, say, hey, Timmy T, what you doing? You got anything going on? I think he's down in St. Lucie. If he's got something else, if he's got something better going on, I understand.
He's in.
But we got a few more weeks left. Head on up to the A7FL, play a little football with us, have a little fun. We've had Tyron Matthew and Cam
we have a
Chancellor
penalty, by the way. We have a penalty on the Hawks. Is that a personal foul? It is a personal foul on the Hawks, so 15 yards tacked on for the Army. It might have been for that very same late hit.
And
Warpaint 8D, by the way, asks, says this is where Tyreek Hill will be soon. Too soon. It's Dreads on the carry, trying to cut it up the far sideline, but gets stopped for a gain of about 2 yards, maybe 3.
And someone asking for Colin Kaepernick to join the fun, to join the party of the A7FL. Why? You know what? Let's get a little bit of word from them. Let's get the word out about this and see if they want to join the party here in the A7FL.
Well, we're all inclusive here in the A7FL, as that was a gain of about 4 yards.
And it is
Tim Tebow, by the way, in AAA Syracuse.
Oh, it is the second quarter with 2:22 left to play.
Not the first quarter.
And it is
A discussion here.
near the 2-minute warning.
We have a discussion here on the line of scrimmage.
With 2:23 left to play in our second quarter, in our first half
Of our second game.
Yes, and we got 2 more for you, and we'll head on over to Twitch exclusively after this game. Folks, if you're watching us on Facebook, as soon as this game is over, head on over to Twitch, be a part of the conversation. Join us as we bring you the final 2 games of this afternoon. A beautiful day here in Homedale, New Jersey. James Corrigan, Matt Ryan calling the action.
No need for war paint to apologize, by the way, as it's a fake handoff to Dredd. Scoot Dog trying to direct traffic, lobs it up toward the corner. It should be an offensive pass interference, I would imagine, on
That's on
Mr. Barbecue Chicken. So I believe that's going to be the call.
No, that was
just shrugging a man aside.
That was Darshawn Grove, and we'll look at this play here again. Throwing it with pressure right up in his face, and you can see the call. I think that they're going to get this call here.
And they do.
It was Brandon Hambrick who was the victim of an offensive pass interference. Calls by number 12, Darshawn Grove.
So back them up 10 yards from the previous line. That is a killer penalty for the Army. Just trying to break out a little bit, only up 6-0.
95 seconds left to go.
Empty backfield here for Scoot Dog. Pressure coming from the Hawks. It's
Swatted
knocked down. My goodness. Number 99, Big Angry.
Big Angry hitting him with the Matumbo. No, not in his house.
And for some reason, the Hawks are running it back into the end zone. Of course, that was a forward pass. I'm not sure what the argument is.
And he punts it too, which is a fun little grandstand, but not effective as a player.
Better hope to not get the flag. That was not really that close to being a fumble.
The
from
Hawks
our vantage
sideline
point.
saying that's a touchdown, but that was not a touchdown. We're at the 2-minute warning now, with your score 6-0 Army.
Could we get potentially a challenge coming from the Hawks in this situation? I assume it was blown dead, but they are bringing this one back.
If it was a forward pass and it was swatted down, it would be a dead ball anyway.
The referee has a headset on. He is in contact with our commissioner, Ryan DePaul, who you've heard from several times today. And I believe we are at our 2-minute warning.
We are at the 2-minute warning. Your score 6-0 Army and the Hawks. Hoping to get a 6 on the board here, as Ryan DePaul is talking with our officials as they try to figure it out. And right now, if you're the Hawks and you're able to finagle a touchdown here, that would be a magical moment for this team.
Well, on
being
third
able
and
to pull a rabbit out of the hat, but that will not be as such.
Well, on 3rd and 17, they'd have to put the rabbit out of the hat just to get the first down. Big Angry putting Scoot Dog under pressure, lops it off for Dreads, but over his head. Good coverage as well by the Hawks. Brings up 4th and 17.
Minute 54 left to play, and the Hawks, they didn't get that 6 points, but they will head on over and try to get the first down. Pardon me, they'll try to get another touchdown here on the 3-on-1, unless Baltimore's going for it. They are in offensive territory. You got to wonder if it's safer to...
I don't think enough teams... You see, when teams here in the A7FL are in their opponent's territory, they tend to think that it's always 4-down territory. But on a 4th and 17 like this, you sort of want to play the field position game, especially with a slight lead like they have here and under 2 minutes.
And it seems like they are going to yield that. Mamba Stacks is set.
And they can just launch this into the end zone if they want.
If anything, out of bounds, try to get it for the 1. Don't give them the 20 or the 25. Don't give them the opportunity to start with decent field position.
We've all played the coffin corner game in Madden, and
This one will.
that will get into the end zone for the touchback. So to no avail there. The big man throwing the ball, Donnell Anderson, known as China.
He's like
Maybe because he's the Great Wall.
Figuring it out here along with you. It is the A7FL on Twitch and Facebook. And folks, we couldn't do this game without you. We also couldn't do this game without our sponsors, Tim Tam. Tim Tam makes professional grade therapy products. Coaches, trainers, and elite athletes use massage therapy during training to speed recovery. Tim Tam's patent-pending devices provide professional grade massage therapy to add another layer to your fitness regimen. For more information, head on over to timtam.tech. That's TIMTAM.tech.
Nothing like loosening out those muscles after a hard workout or a hard game. Certainly should be a part of everybody's fitness regimen, whether you are an athlete or an average Joe such as myself.
Yes, the broadcaster needs to limber up as we've been sitting here since.
It's been hard work.
Oh, yeah, sitting here since 9 in the morning. Someone can send me a bagel.
New quarterback in, but just going to hand it right off to Liberty. Tripped up near the line, couldn't get the momentum going.
Nike Lofton now in, the man with the lime green do-rag. He's put in work a few times. We've seen him a couple of weeks ago with an impressive performance. And Newman will be taken back to the tight end position. It'll be 2nd and 1.
It's going to be 2nd and 6.
Oh,
Coming
correction,
from
2nd
the
and 6.
24-yard line. That tackle made by Billy Stewart Jr., known as Stomach.
And I'm thinking that is not because he has a proclivity for eating.
One would think so. Could be because he has a stomach for many queasy things, such as you would see on Fear Factor, or nonetheless, it's our attempt at trying to make sense of some of these great nicknames here in the A7FL as we get a false start coming against the Hawks. So that will stop the clock. Nike Lofton Green still in at quarterback.
And now they'll be moved back 5 yards on that one. It'll be 3rd and 9.
Be 2nd and,
9.
11, coming from the 19-yard line.
Public school education, folks. Public school education. It'll be 2nd and 11.
Well, I went to public school as well. Don't poo-poo.
I went to New York public school, so there we go.
Oh.
Yeah. See, we're allowed to bash it. Everybody else can't. There's a rule somewhere. I don't know where, but I'm just making it up as I go.
If anybody's watching from the great town of Edison, New Jersey, shout that out right now in the chat. Of course, Ryan DePaul, our commissioner, the pride of Sayreville, the home of the Bombers. So on 2nd and 11 rather. Some time to throw, has to roll out. Should just throw it away here instead. Almost brought down by Big Hayes, but just couldn't complete the pass after the incredible effort from Lofton Green just to elude the pressure.
And yeah, that's been the theme of today across both games, has been intense pressure from the front three, trying to develop just a little bit of tension on both sides, forcing quarterbacks to make throws in a hurry, off the back foot, looking like those knob block throws we were talking about earlier, those second baseman across the field throws. And we've seen some amazing plays come out of it, and then the defensive pressure sometimes just a little too much, and they're a little ahead or a little behind.
Well, those are the Brett Favre style throws as well. That's how Brett Favre got to throw the most interceptions in NFL history.
Angela Corrigan on the Facebook chat. Edison in the house. So shout out to Angela watching the game.
3rd and 11. Throws to the near sideline, too low and too wide.
Played great defense to throw it off here.
And they're going to once again throw it out of bounds and not give all-purpose the opportunity to return it. You are able to do that on the punting situation in the A7FL. So short time to work with, 1st and 10 for the Army Under 40 seconds left. Scoot Dog has to scramble, and they cannot corral the one-handed catch, unfortunately, for Milk.
And Milk a little frustrated with himself, saying a word that I can't say on the headset after missing that play. Tried to catch it in stride.
Oh, especially not with our commissioner sitting right here.
That is true, yes.
33 seconds left to second down and 10. Glad you could be with us as we are all getting set for tonight's Game of Thrones finale.
Oh, that's that thing with the chairs and the dragons?
Chairs, there are.
The big chair, right?
There is a chair, yes, the
Wasn't
Iron
that
Throne.
show with the clown on PBS back in the 90s? Oh, no, it was
I
Big
would
Comfy
have
Couch.
to say not. As to the near side it goes, they should just try and get out of bounds to stop the clock, and they do. Nice play made there by Mr. Barbecue Chicken. So a first down
28 seconds
should be
left to
coming
play.
here for the Army, unless they ruled them out earlier, and I think they...
The quarterback trying to get some time, all purpose, trying to know how much time they have left on the clock. They have 28 seconds.
The clock is stopped because they did go out of bounds. So it is going to be Scoot Dog going for it all. Just overthrows Milk.
And it was a situation they kind of, like in hockey when you pull the goalie to get that extra offensive player, the Army did the exact same thing, having all purpose not only on the line, but consider himself to be a receiver, waved his arm saying he was an eligible receiver, and leaving that Hawks pass rush to come right after the Army. And Scoop Dog finding a way to make that play down the field, but not going as it's incomplete.
Scoot Dog takes a few hits. You could almost say he needs some milk. That goes right over the head of most people over my age. It's going to be second down and 10. Scoot Dog going to try the same exact play, and this time he cannot connect. Just maybe even off the fingertips of all purpose, and bodies flying and bodies lying down on the ground. It looks like Scoot Dog did take a hit. He may actually need some milk.
And two of the most dynamic athletes in the league on that one. All purpose, and Michael Liberty going stride for stride. And
it looks like he took a hit there from Joseph Williams II, the massive man in the middle.
And there's a timeout called with 19 seconds left to play. Army's first charge timeout of the half. Holding on to a very slim 6-0 lead. It's the Army and the Hawks here on the A7FL.
And a very slim 19 seconds remaining on the clock here in the first half. The Army just trying to salvage something from this possession, salvage something else from this half aside from their lone touchdown, the lone touchdown of this game.
And we are halfway through our second game, and we are nearing the halfway point of our slate of games for you here today, as we will be exclusively on Twitch. With our next game, it's the Patterson U taking on the Baltimore Bulldogs, and we'll have one more game for you at 4 o'clock as the BIC will be in action.
3rd and 10 for the Army. They tried for the end zone these last two plays. Will Scoot Dog go for it again? They do have their timeouts, so something over the middle doesn't have to run out the clock. Under some pressure once again from Joseph Williams. Across his body, he throws it over the head of everywhere.
And there's no
everyone. Both teams are calling for pass interference, but that was well overthrown.
That was overthrown, and it looked like two members of the Army collided into each other. And Michael Liberty doing a little bit of a dance.
My goodness.
I believe he was trying to either crank that Soldier Boy or start a tractor. I'm not sure which one it was, but an impressive dance move. Let's clip that one on Twitch for people watching on Twitch. Michael Liberty showing off his dance moves here as it'll be 4th and 10 with 12 seconds left to play.
I don't think he was cranking that Soldier Boy shades of 2007.
It'll always be 2007 to me, James. Always.
Fair enough. So, we do have a penalty, I believe. As it's now 3rd down and 5. Well, it's 4th down and 5. It was just 10 a moment ago. So 3rd down and 5. Had to have been possibly an offsides call on the defense potentially, but nonetheless, Scoot Dog with short time again going for the end zone and again cannot connect.
And the wide receiver going in an arc, going to his left instead of going up, which is where the quarterback thought he was going.
And intended for Quan Tillman, who shows off the arm, throwing it back to the line of scrimmage. This brings up 4th down and 5.
And if you have 6
seconds,
you might as well go for it. You might as
Oh,
well
of course.
see if you can break it open on a big play. The Hawks started the game with the ball, so the Army will be getting it at the start of the second half.
it's just it seems unnecessary. The Army still has two timeouts. They could have tried to pick up a chunk of yards instead of just going for the end zone every time. But I'm no coach.
It also may just be because they're trying to trust their quarterback. They're trying to test the arm here instead of
Free play coming here. The Hawks were offside, so they're going to have another shot if they do not convert here. Intended for Dreads in the end zone. Did he get the feet down? Yes, he did! A last gasp effort to Dreads, the back of the end zone, and the Army go up by 2 scores.
And right now, Ryan DePaul called it 12-0 was going to be the score of this game, and it is getting and that is our score. So that's going to set the pace for the entire second half. We'd love to go to the replay on that. We've got a player down because they ran into the kicking net. Our camera went completely the opposite direction because the entire offense, everybody got fooled on the production end. We thought the ball was going to the left. It went to the right in traffic in a great play to make it 12-0 as it.
All-purpose to receive the opening throw here for the Army in the second half. It was the Hawks that got the ball first. Tries to take the sideline. All-purpose across midfield. Did he go out of bounds there? No whistle. All-purpose tries to stiff arm to the end zone. He gets in.
All-purpose.
Well, he may have stepped out. It was close toward the far sideline. That far hash mark, which is the end line here in the A7FL.
Well, let's take a look again on the replay. Let's see where
Did he step out on the near side, though?
He stayed on the near sideline.
Ooh, that's close.
That's real close. We'd have to take a deeper look at that one, maybe slow that down frame by frame, the same way we ended the half. It's a controversial call to start the half.
Oh, it looked like
controversial call to end the first half, and they're gonna give him the touchdown.
Well, I think they're gonna be marked just short.
Let's take a look again.
Going to be ruled out at the 3.
Bringing it down here, and I guess they're calling him out of bounds.
Out at the 3-yard line.
And he's
in
in there.
In.
He's in.
I think he's in.
He's in there, but let's continue the pace of. Let's continue the play. Breaks through these 2 tackles, but we're gonna have to cut back to live action. We'll argue about that in a second.
Dreads on the carry, stopped short of the goal.
And that'll be 2nd down.
Great play by Sparks, the outside linebacker, just diving in at the legs.
And folks, is he in or is he out? Let us know on Facebook and Twitch. Let us know if his foot was in or his foot was out. We got another controversial play starting this half the same way it ended.
So no, it was no touchdown on the throw-off 808 Heartbreaks. He was ruled out just short. Scoot Dog on 2nd and goal. Lobs it. And swarmed and short again.
And the Hawks gifted an opportunity to stay in this game. And we were talking about this entering the half. One little thing can turn the tide of this game completely. And right here, right now.
Could this be the goal line stand? Royds had the catch. Just swarmed, and it's going to be 3rd and goal from the 3. So what do they do here? Do they go with the run as Dreads was just stopped on the first down play?
And they
will hand it off to Dreads, and this time he's in.
Third time to knock on the door, finally letting the candygram in, and it's 6 points on the board for the Army.
So the Army now a 3-possession lead. And that's just a killer for the Hawks at the end of the first half and then at the beginning of the second half, giving up humongous plays. And that could eventually be their downfall.
Karan Milburn saying they just robbed us on that play, but they got the 6 points back. And it
depends on the perspective.
Well, yeah. If you're a Hawks fan, you're frustrated. But if you're an Army fan, you are taking that as a gift. It's 19-0 now, and it looks like they're going for 2.
Going for 2 to make it 21. 3 wide, 2 wide up to the top, 1 wide to the bottom. Scoot Dog under pressure, and he is brought down. Nice play made by number 88 of the Hawks, Sparks, also known as Two-Face.
And now the 3-on-1, and this is a chance for the Hawks to reset. We'll take a look here on the replay. Just watch him being chased down. Just coming from behind, grabbing him, hitting him with the hind, and making it a 3-on-1.
Ace TTV saying Dreads is eating today. He certainly is. And it's going to be the Army that's been eating, especially on the defensive side of the ball. The Hawks have just had nothing going at all. They need to make something happen potentially on this very throw.
And it is getting increasingly warmer here in Duluth, and it's getting much warmer on the field. Not many clouds in the sky today.
No.
And you got to wonder if both of these teams, how long, if stamina is going to be getting into the early days of summer here in Homedale.
Brandon Hambrill, known as B, shakes a tackle at the 15, crosses the 20. Tries to split 2 defenders, but dragged down near the 30-yard line. So that is where it'll be the Hawks to take over again.
And we'll see here on the replay, breaking through one tackler. Could have cut inside at one point, tried it a little too late, and ended up right in the arms of the tackler.
Great point made on Twitch by Nolan Blake LA, saying that the throw-off is the league's signature play. It's safer and more exciting than the NFL's kickoff, especially with the recent devaluation of the kickoff. We could not agree more. As it looks like it's going to be another direct snap to Lofton Green. He's going to go back to throw. And throw he will to the near side. Intercepted!
Breaking through. Look at that. Slides down.
Breaking ankles, but could not finish the play, but he finished the pick. That is Damon McCombs.
And the Hawks snatching defeat from the jaws of victory on that play as the Army snagged this interception. Beautiful throw by Lofton. High arcing pass, falls a little too short, coming up and under. Intended for number 88 and not able to get that one. That was supposed to be Sparks. Alan Sparks Jackson, the intended receiver, and he ends up with the tackle.
I'm going to go so far as to say that another score here for the Army could well and truly wrap this game up.
Well, you say that, but we've got pretty much an entire quarter and an entire fourth quarter left to go, and we've seen teams battle back before. That's the thing about this league, is that even though the door may be closed, they might be able to find a skylight and break their way in and get inside shouting distance as the Army have the ball.
Scoot Jog just airmails his man on the far side looking for smoke.
And right now, if you're on the Hawks sideline and you're going over plays, Nike Lofton showed that he's got an arm, but you need to give Mamba Stacks the room to run. You need to let him go into, I'm thinking, put Mamba Stacks in the slot, James. Let him go out, try to air it out, try to break the rhythm of this Army defense because they're expecting certain things now. And I think that the Hawks are getting a little too complacent. They tried something big there. They've given Nike Lofton the ball, but they need to create space for their playmakers.
Empty backfield set here for Scoot Dog. 3 receivers out. To receive, Scoot Dog going to step up in the pocket, flip it to nobody. That's a
Loose
live
ball.
ball.
Loose
It's
ball
loose.
picked up by the Hawks.
Did he
Hawks
get it?
got it?
But did he get
They
it
got
in
it.
bounds?
They give the Hawks the ball.
What a mistake by Scoot Dog. What was he
Mama.
thinking? Nobody was there.
He wasn't looking behind him. He thought he had somebody there. Tried to flip it back. If we can go back to the replay, we'll decide.
Matt, I'm not sure if the Hawks recovered it while they were still in bounds.
Well, the referee gave it to him. We'll take a look again on the replay.
Look at Jonathan Soltis coming off this right defensive end right now.
And he's shifting in your screen. He's got the red sleeve, the red shirt under his jersey. Let's watch Soltis here. Breaks through, beautiful push, sends him back on his heels, cuts in, creates this cap, just a seal. And right now he sees somebody. He saw somebody behind him. It was either all-purpose or the guy that fell down.
And
there was a crack in that offensive seal that created that play. And let's see for the fumble here. He scoops it up
think he
in
has
bounds. He was in bounds because that marker's supposed to be the out-of-bound point, and he got the ball.
Scoot Dog, I don't know what he was thinking. Certainly wasn't all-purpose. Not sure who that was on the ground. But I think that it is a turnover.
Well, Ryan, what are you thinking on your end of the world?
That's a turnover. That was a backward lateral recovered by the Hawks.
Inbounds.
Inbounds.
But
There you go.
great defense by the Hawks. You talked about that pass rush earlier today, right at the start of the broadcast, and that is a huge thing for the Hawks. We were talking about one more score closing the door. They found the skylight. They broke in, and now it's still anybody's ball game because there's a lot of time left on the clock with 10:29 left in the third.
This could be a huge momentum shift.
I like this set they're coming out with the fullback, Dro. Guy's a real good blocker. They got Green at the halfback, traditional I set.
Full I formation with the fullback as well.
He runs totally away from his blockers, which I don't get.
Nothing going there
And they
at all.
And they had Dante Brown as the wide receiver in the slot. That was at the bottom of your screen. Brown will stay in. Newman will check out. No, Newman will stay in.
So that was only a short gain from Mamba Stacks. Looks like a gain of 2. So 2nd and 8 coming from the 35 of the Army.
Karan Milburn saying, ain't no battle and back, game over. But,
Don't speak too soon.
yeah, and it's not. We got a lot of time left. The Army can pile on the points. They could try to, but we've seen impressive defense from both sides. Nike Lofton with 1 running back set up to his right, 2 wide receivers. The handoff to the big fullback, number
The big
40.
man just cannot find room. Might be just a gain of 1 to 40 Ugly.
Farrell Gordon with the carry, and it will now be 3rd and 7.
And thank you, by the way, to NJ Clamor 11 for subscribing with Twitch Prime.
All right, you can use your 1 free Twitch Prime subscription every month, and if you use it on us, we'd be very thankful.
No cost at all if you also have Amazon Prime, which I hope many of you do. Could drop a traditional Tier 1 subscription as well, or donate to the stream with bits and or actual money.
That's right. And also, folks, if you're watching us on Facebook, I'm monitoring the Facebook chat. It's awesome to be talking with you guys, but we want to keep talking with you when this game is over. We've got 2 more games for you at 2 o'clock, an estimated 2 o'clock start time and an estimated 4 o'clock start time. And we want you to be joining us. And that game will be probably getting started around 2:30, 2:40. And Lofton with the ball.
Lofton Green is going to be under pressure again and throws it to nobody. So
Felt that pressure coming in from the outside. That left end swooping around. Not a lot of friction there from the offensive line. Kind of giving up the goat on that, as it will be 4th and 7.
4th down. They have to go for it here. It would be a shame for the Hawks if they could not capitalize on the turnover that they just forced from the Army.
And you're going to have to give a lot of praise to that Army defense being able to completely push pause on the momentum of this Hawks team and just keeping the pressure, keeping just that staring down and keeping the focus on the total goal of winning this game and proving that despite the record, they are a huge, huge thing, a huge team in this league.
So 4th and 7. This is a critical play in the game here for the Hawks, maybe even a make or break. Lofton Green under pressure, spins away, lobs it, it's caught for a first down for the Hawks. Clutch play by Dante Brown.
And look at Bobby Newman
Blocking.
picking up this blitz right here. You know, he peels back, gives him the extra couple seconds he needs. This is just great effort here. Most linemen will give up.
Not a lot of players go from quarterback to offensive lineman in the span of a single game, but Bobby Newman, a.k.a. one big play, can do so.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching us on Twitch, hello and good afternoon. I'm Matt Ryan, joined by James Corrigan. It's the Baltimore Army and the New Jersey Hawks right here live on Twitch with 6:22 left to go. James, it's 1st and 10 after a big play. For those who are on the homepage of Twitch, you've missed an exciting game with a lot of intrigue, a lot of excitement, and some games called and some plays made off the replay. Nike Lofton with the ball, James.
And Lofton in the shotgun. Michael Liberti is in the backfield. Surely that will be a false start. A little bit jumping the gun there was Lofton Green. It's such a weird dynamic calling a false start and calling it offsides. We had a comment like that in the Twitch chat earlier today when there's no traditional snap.
But you got to follow that quarterback's arm. Heading into today, the Savage were 3-1. And a lot of people thought they were paper lions walking into today against an Army team that Ryan DePaul, our commissioner, say are better than their record of this Army team at 1-2 on the season. They're playing better than their record, and they're proving Ryan right. They're up 19-0, scoring their 3rd touchdown of the game on a very controversial, narrow call with 1 foot going in, and we saw a turnover befall the Army the same exact way. There's still a lot of time left, and Ryan and James is 1st and 15.
Well, Liberti is just going to get stuffed at the line following the false start. He's going to lose a yard. We talked early in the beginning of the game about the strength of schedule that the Army had. They've yet to play a team this season that is under the 500 mark, and this game is no exception. Their losses to the New Jersey Savage, who are now 4-1 after their victory today, and the Baltimore Panthers, who are 3-1 coming into today. And their win over the New Jersey BIC, a 500 team, coming last week.
Do you guys know what these blocks are called right here? Have you ever, you know what they call these blocks?
What do they call them?
Watch.
Drop some knowledge.
Watch.
We'll see here on the play.
I'm going to put it in super slow motion because there's always a block I like to point out. This is called the lookout block. The only thing that you could do is just tell the guy to look out.
It'll be
When
second.
we block like that, that's what the coach would say. You lookout block.
It's not how they teach you to play in Sayreville.
It'll be 2nd and 15.
Lofton Green to the near side. And Brown is not happy with some of the defense played there by Quan Tillman on him, but it will be let go, and it will be 3rd down and 16. And once again, the Hawks, after picking up a clutch first down just a moment ago, are once again at a 3rd and long and potentially a 4th and long situation.
They got to treat this as 2-down territory because obviously you're not going to punt down here. You don't have to get all 15. You know, the Hawks just really aren't built like that. I look for the quarterback to take off on a little scamper. Maybe he's going to play action and pick up some yards himself, and then it's 2-down territory.
And everybody watching us on the front page of Twitch, hello new fans, hello new friends. Matt Ryan, James Corrigan, and also joining us, the 3rd man in the booth, the omnipresent voice, is Ryan DePaul, the A7FL commissioner.
Picking up some viewers on Twitch as we're in our regular time slot. 3rd down and 16. Lofton Green, and it's dropped. It should have been intercepted by Royds, but he lets it slip through.
I believe that was number 29, Tavon Ross, with just bouncing right off his hands. And 4th and 15. This Hawks team has not been able to turn anything into a positive play. Just been gifted a drive, a wobbly pass.
So this could be it here for the Hawks. 4th down and 16 as we're under 2.5 to play in the third quarter. The Hawks, if you're just joining us, the Hawks were victimized by a last-second Hail Mary touchdown from the Army's Dreads at the end of the first half, then gave up a humongous return in the throw-off of the second half.
We have a new quarterback.
Interesting here, dropping back to the near side, and that one is not even close to being caught, let alone reaching the 16 yards that they needed. They brought in the new quarterback,
Dennis Corbin.
Dennis Corbin, known as D-Money, but I just am not sure what on earth that was. They needed 16 yards on the play. They threw for 3.
I feel like they just kind of gave that one up and decided to just give them the 30-yard line instead of trying to throw it off. That's a bad sign for this Hawks team, in my opinion. And folks, if you're joining us, thank you so much at twitch.tv/A7FL. It's twitch.tv/A7FL. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to donate some bits. Be sure to use your Twitch Prime subscription. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you get 1 free a month, and you can use it with us here at the A7FL.
And a big one here, Derrick H89 has subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you, Derrick. As the ball is handed off to All-Purpose for the Army. All-Purpose trying to spin out of it, tried to lateral it. The play was blown dead. The play was blown dead. They thought it was forward progress. Certainly was not forward progress. Tried to lateral it as Scoot Dog did just a moment ago, but bailed out by the officials.
The officials and challenges, basically replay review, have dominated this game. Let's look again on this run.
The Hawks was so close to picking up another turnover on another bad mistake, and he just lateraled that ball to no one looking for Scoot Dog, but now it's Dreads picking up a big gain of 11 in the first down.
But you have to say, big game, the running back there, All-Purpose, able to get through one of those tacklers, trying to go for a chest pass. It was a little too trying to make an NFL street game out of this, trying to make it too much of a mixtape play and just trying to gain some yards.
Well, Dreads was ruled short, 3rd and 2. Scoot Dog under pressure. He lets it go again. This time it falls somehow into All-Purpose's hands. All-Purpose looks to throw, and it's caught. It's caught, but was All-Purpose out of bounds on the sideline before he threw it? Oh, doctor.
It is getting wacky. It is getting wild, and we're going to have to go to the replay on that one.
How on earth? Surely All-Purpose must have been out of bounds when he threw that ball. First and foremost, what on earth was Scoot Dog thinking again? Lateraling it up. This time he was fortunate to find the hands of All-Purpose.
Heads up tackling by Liberty. And then All-Purpose, seeing 2 defenders coming up on him. Is he in bounds? He's still in there.
I think he's out.
He's out of bounds. Yeah, no, he's out of bounds once his body is turning when he throws the ball. His body's out of bounds. And that ball bounced. That ball
did
bounced.
Okay.
So that's an incomplete play.
Okay, it was
either
tough.
way, it's incomplete or it's out of bounds or incomplete. So it will go to 4th down.
It was tough to see, because if that bounced right back up into his hands, and we were blocked off from seeing the ball, so it looked as if it was caught. But I don't think that the catch even matters at this point. I think that All-Purpose was out of bounds when he went to throw the ball. The Savage are not operating on solid footing here as well. On the offensive end, back-to-back possessions, back-to-back of being careless with the ball.
And Ryan DePaul discussing with our officials.
Trying to explain it to the officials. I don't think.
Either way, it's 4th down. Either way, it's 4th down in my opinion. He was out of bounds when he threw the ball, or it was incomplete. The ball bounced. They made no progress. It's fourth down.
Let's play that one more time, just to.
Either way, even if he's not out of bounds, that ball bounced off of his body. It bounced off of his body. It went down. It hit the turf, and it bounced back into him. That's an out of bounds. That's an incomplete pass.
I think we should try and see where this ball is being spotted.
Well, no matter where they spot the ball, to me, he's still behind the line of scrimmage. So if he's behind the line of scrimmage and he's out of bounds, then that means the play's dead. If he was behind the line of scrimmage and he threw the ball and it bounced, which it did when we saw that on the replay, to me, that ball is incomplete. Wavy Rob saying it should be 4th and 7.
That's about right. 4th and 7 would be about right, depending on where he went out of bounds with the ball. Well, the referee's saying that he didn't step out of bounds, contrary to everything we've seen.
So the ball would still be an incomplete pass then. So we're trying to figure out how this is going to be scored.
Doncacino says he thinks that all-purpose was still in the air when he threw the ball. Then nonetheless,
it'll be 4th down no matter what.
I think it'll be 4th.
They're gonna do the throw off. It'll be 4th and 2.
Yeah, I can't imagine that the Army would go for it in their own territory, regardless of the down, regardless of the distance. So they're just gonna throw this one off.
And it will be to number 22, Brandon Hambrick.
Hambrick couldn't get free in his last attempt to run it back. And Scoot Dog going to throw it to the far sideline. A big throw for him to pin the Hawks back.
That'll land around the 17-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 as we head out of the third quarter into the 4th and final frame. This one has got, even though the score's 19-0, we have had a dramatic game with a lot of plays decided on the replay here this afternoon. This throw-off nearly was a 1st and 10.
Very close to being so. So the Hawks have their backs up against the wall. We do have 2 seconds left in this third quarter.
And guaranteed great. The ball is the same size as your average football, just a little bit bigger. It looks a little bit bigger than it is. And the U will be coming up 8:08 in just a few minutes' time. They'll be in our next game this afternoon as they take on the Baltimore Bulldogs. Two teams in playoff contention looking to square off. In our third game of the afternoon, we've got 4 for you this beautiful Sunday in Homedale, New Jersey. Barely a cloud in the sky, and it is a beautiful day. The wind blowing just a little bit on the massive campus of St. John's Vianney. It'll be 4th and 7 on the throw-off here as we start our 4th quarter.
Oh, Wavy YY Rab lays it out there, and it's the obvious situation for the Hawks. Down by 3 scores, you got to score on this drive.
As we see the U offense, who we'll be seeing in a little while. Just some great offense. Number 11 whipping the ball around, keeping that foot in play. Finding cracks in the opponent's defense are the U, and we'll see them in action in just about a half hour from now in our third game of the afternoon as they take on the 7th-ranked Baltimore Bulldogs, who are 2-1, scored 68 points on the year, and the U leading the way offensively heading into today with 131 points on the score.
The U are inspired by, of course, the Miami University Hurricanes. They wear their colors, and like the U of the past, as we get a whistle, a pre-snap penalty, I believe it's going to be a false start against the Hawks. Like the Miami teams of the past, one could consider them possibly the bad boys of the A7FL.
They were Luther Campbell away from being those 80s Hurricanes. And it will be first and 15. Or is that the reset?
No, they get him with the penalty
reset
on that one. I think they gave him the penalty on that one.
I think we had the reset earlier in this game. Of course, in the A7FL, if you're new to our league, You do not get called for the false start on your first offense. Try and speed the game up a little bit, but you are on your subsequent.
And guaranteed grade, the clock doesn't stop for an incompletion or for a penalty until the 2-minute warning. Once you get into the 2-minute warning of the second or the fourth quarter, that is when clock will stop. It's all about pushing the pace of play, making a quick, fast, and exciting game. That's why we're 7-on-7. That's why it's no helmets, no pads, all action. It's safer, smarter, and a more fun game. Nike Lofton with the ball.
Lofton Green over the head of Dante Brown. Incomplete, going to bring up 2nd down and 15. The only time the clock stops, aside from under 2 minutes in each half, is a score or a change of possession.
You know, one guy that's been missing from the U that's been spot playing is Moon. And we'll roll a clip right here. Probably one of the famous 3-on-1 returns in A7FL history. This was the final 4 game in 2015.
Bro, that ball bouncing around is the worst thing that could happen.
No time right now. And this is what he does to put his team back into the race. I'm sorry, this was the Elite 8. Just look at this return. We're going to probably see him out here today. This is green, man, okay, super smooth. They should put this team on first.
Lofton Green over the middle. He goes! It's caught! Open field ahead. Mamba Stacks crosses the 40, gets down to about the 35-yard line in plus territory.
And the Hawks fan base getting live, getting loud here in Homedale as he points ahead. First down for the Hawks, the biggest play of the game for the Hawks, down 19. Let's hit him with the replay. Lofton gets the catch right inside the 40. Pushes off the tackler, gets a little help, nearly broken up by a member of the Army, trying to double up, but lands on his teammate. But it will be 1st and 10.
The Hawks need something here. As you know, we mentioned the running clock that shortens the amount of time that they have to score. Also, the fact that there are no onside kick type situations. There are no onside kick type situations here in the A7FL. So the ball goes back to the opposing team regardless of the score.
Fake the initial handoff.
The trap
second
play
handoff.
went to 40 ugly, and that just went nowhere.
They'll lose a yard. It'll be 2nd and 11.
Not sure if a running play is really necessary yet. The Hawks need to be a little bit more urgent here.
If I'm calling the plays for the Hawks right now, you just beat them on a huge pass play down the field. You can try to keep that momentum going. I wouldn't try to slow down the game, especially when you're down 3 scores. You need to go after the heart of this Army team. Break the back of the defense, open up the score, let your defense, who's been playing an excellent game so far with limited exception, help you carry water and try to pull it out with just about 10 and a half minutes to play.
2nd down and 11. Coming here for the Hawks, they need more big plays like the one they just had from Mamba Stacks. Off the green. Again, he has to elude the pressure.
Runs
Tries
up
to
field.
turn the corner, but he cannot. Only a small gain of about 3 yards, 3 or 4. So it's going to be 3rd and a significant margin here for the Hawks. They should play this like it's 4 down territory, even though we saw earlier, even though the Army got bailed out, that the Army had chances to take chunks of yards and call timeouts, but chose to bomb it into the end zone instead. The Hawks have not used a timeout here.
And if you love that Mamba Stacks play, be sure to clip that on Twitch. Lofton with the ball.
The far side, it is Mamba Stacks, and they only can gain 1 yard. So 4th down and 6 coming here for the Hawks. And we said it before, but this is the game for them.
This could decide the entire game. This can decide pretty much how the rest of the season goes for this team, for the Hawks.
This could be it with the running clock employed here in the A7FL and the lack of onside kick type situations. There'd be very little, there'd be not much in terms of stopping the clock or trying to force a turnover.
Pressure.
If they don't get this here, over the middle, and it is
ripped
ripped out!
Interception by the Army.
Quan Tillman trying to cut up the field. Drags his man to the 49-yard line before he's slammed down. And pleasantries exchanged by James Lowe, the intended receiver, and Quan Tillman, the man who ripped it out of his hands.
Well, let's hit back to that replay because I want to break down how this turned out, how this turned into a turnover. Let's go back to the replay. Throws it, caught, battling for it, got it, ripped it, robbed it, and dragged it down the field. But even before that, Ryan, if you were, and James, looking at the defensive line, the defensive end on the outside defensive end on our right, their left, completely broke through, came around, and forced Lofton to make that throw.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it again. I'll slow it down a little more so everybody can take a look. Pressure bust pipes, and the Army's got a ton of it. You know, despite their record, that's why I think they're going to be a Final Four team. They got two good running backs. They can spell each other. They got a good pass rush. Now they just got to figure out, you know, a little bit more in the passing side of things. We're going to have to cut out of this to get back to live action, though.
But just that guy on the outside, you saw him, created this for the Army. And miracles may and have happened, caught and off the hands, and that'll be second down.
That ball dropped by Timothy Johnson, known as Smoke for the Army, but they could just sit on this play. The incomplete pass is not a big deal because in the A7FL, the clock runs even on an incomplete pass unless it is under 2 minutes of a half. So the Army can just be conservative here and run 2 minutes off the clock.
And a shout out to Dunkachino on Twitch. I'm actually hype. I just found you guys on Twitch. I've been loosely following you through YouTube highlight vids. So it's actually cool to watch live and keep track of it. It's pretty sweet. And Derrick H saying great defense by the Army today.
Balls up. What a grab. He cannot elude the tackler.
He lost his pants, but he didn't lose the ball.
Mr. Barbecue Chicken makes the big play and puts the Army in contention, but hold everything.
We going back?
It looks like we might. There's a penalty on the near side at the 43.
All right, so that could
What
be,
do we have here?
It looks like holding.
Offensive pass interference will be called on Mr. Barbecue Chicken, and that is going to send it back 10 yards from the original line. Mr. Barbecue Chicken almost had his man cooked, but reached into the cookie jar and got caught. So second down and 20.
And we'll be rolling straight into our third game of the afternoon in our double-decker Sunday, giving you a little bit of a double and a half-decker Sunday here on Twitch. The snap.
Over the middle, and it's Tillman again. What a move, shaking and baking, but too many Hawks surrounding him. He does get to midfield and back across the original line of scrimmage.
It'll be 3rd and 9.
It'll be 3rd and about 9 or 8 for the Army, but again, no sweat for them. The clock continues to run. 6:20 to go.
And the Hawks.
And again, the Hawks they just don't have the time here to come back.
They have to be happy that that punch to the face in that deep play did not yield them anything. But right now they're at midfield. It's 3rd and 9.
Scoot Dog gonna roll to his left. He's gonna take it himself. He will not pick up the first down, however, gain of about 4. So this brings up 4th down. It's an interesting decision here for the Army. It probably won't affect the outcome of the game, but will they go for it here? It looks like they will.
And if you're watching right now on Twitch, you haven't seen a throw off yet. It's the most dynamic play in football, that 3-on-1 throw off, but we're not going to see it here. The Army, as you said, James, are going to keep the ball, try to go for it on 4th and 5, and see if they can keep this push going.
Empty set here for Scoot Dog. Wearing a full Under Armour gear. Even in this hot weather, he's going to take it himself. Picks up the first down. Turns the corner on the near sideline across the 35. Down close to the 30 and out.
Smart heads-up play there by the quarterback, holding on to it, making sure that he's able to push on ahead all-purpose. With a big gain there, continuing, as you said, James, draining the clock, keeping it going. just trying to, they're like the energy vampires on What We Do in the Shadows, just slowly sucking the energy out of this Hawks team, who have played valiantly even though they've gotten some bad breaks throughout this contest here this afternoon.
They have gotten some bad breaks. Of course, everybody's going to point to the Hail Mary play at the end of the first half. Scoot Dog launching it into the back of the end zone where Dreads was there, got the 1 foot in, confirmed upon review. It was close, but that was the backbreaker for the Hawks, and then coming out of the halftime break, allowing a run back to the 3-yard line. And that was basically that. Just 6-0 before those two occurrences, and now it's going to be 1st down and 10 for the Army from the Hawks 32.
One run running back set to the right.
Over the middle, and a dart thrown down the middle for a gain of about 7. Nice grab made by Akuma.
And we'll take it again here on the replay. Quick dart, right in transition. Just kind of matriculating the ball downfield, trying to just slow up the pace of, just continue to keep the time running. 2:05 left to play now.
2nd down and 3. Lofts it, Dreads is there. Can he put the moves on? He can to some degree. Slips out of the first tackle, slips out of the second tackle, and slips and slides into the end zone. And the Baltimore Army are well and truly on their way to winning this ball game, going back up to the 500 mark at 2-2.
Beautiful offensive play there, great positioning, great running, and more importantly, great stride, just finding his way to strafe in and out of those defenders. We'll hit back the replay, a little quick pass, calm in the presence of danger. C28 can't keep up with them, skirt to the left, breaks him off, just dirt, takes the crumbs off the shoulders. And you see number 4 trying to pull on the Dreads or trying to get inside the jersey.
That's legal, pulling on the hair.
They pulled his hair and didn't come away with the stop, the tackle, or a Dread. So it'll be 25-0 as the Army looks to add 1 more point to the tally, make it 26-0.
They will go for 1 from the 5-yard line. If you're just joining us here on Twitch, the 1-point conversion is from the 5, and the 2-point conversion from the 10. There is no extra points.
No free pass here in the
No
A7FL.
field goals as well in the A7FL.
As they get set up. 25-0 your score, 1:57 left to go in our second game of the afternoon. We'll head into our Twitch double-decker immediately after this game is over.
Scoot Dog steps up, fires, and it's intercepted. They can't run it back, so the conversion is incomplete, but it's still
It gets enough of a stop, though.
a significant lead.
It just stops the bleeding for just a second.
Well, the bleeding, it's significant, and the Hawks are 1:57 left from bleeding out, as it's been all Army today. Ryan DePaul, he called it. He said it would be a low-scoring affair and that the defense of the Army would carry the day, and that has certainly happened.
In comparison to our last game, yes, it is low scoring.
Oh, yes.
But for the Army, this is a high-scoring affair for them. Walking into today with 63 points total scored on the year, and right now adding another 25 to that as number 19, Khalil Green, will take the run.
Johnny Boy, 456, says if somebody pulled his hair, they would be scrapping. And I would not blame him for doing so. But in football, if you have those long hair, those dreadlocks like Larry Fitzgerald, they can be pulled on, and it is illegal. So it's at your own risk. And the throw is up. Only to the 20. Tries to turn the corner on the near sideline. Mamba Stacks is stacked up near the 30.
And right now, if you're this Hawks team, you're just trying to save a little bit of face, put some points on the board, take the loss, head to become 3-2. You're still in playoff contention. You're still battling for it. This is how they need to keep it going here this afternoon.
Well, taking the L has been a popular dance since it came out in the game. Fortnite, hopefully we won't see that here today, as we did actually in the World Cup final last year. Of course, a lot of Fortnite coming on Twitch, but a lot of real action right now on Twitch here with the A7FL.
And it'll be 1st and 10 with 1:57 left to go.
Brand new quarterback once again in. It's Dennis Corbin, D Money, who came in to throw a 3-yard pass on a 4th and 16. This one is going to be slightly longer into deep double coverage, and an easy interception made by the Army.
Fell right into his arms, caught it like a baby, brought it down, and this one is all but over.
Well, it's certainly done here. Fantastic coverage, a very easy interception made by the Honey Badger. So the Army can just sit on this ball, run out the clock, run it 3 times in the line, maybe even take a knee. Not sure if you can take a knee, but
well, let's focus with this game pretty much in the record book. Let's talk about what's next. And folks, we're going to have a big showdown here as the Patterson U take on the Bulldogs. Patterson U, heading into today, have only 1 loss, and the only reason they're not the top seed in the league is because the Cobras and the Immortals have been undefeated through week 5 of this season. The Bulldogs have only given up 31 points so far this season. The U right behind them with only 38 points allowed on the scoreboard across the first 5 weeks of the season. As we head into this 5th game, James, do you think the better offense can beat the better defense?
Well, on a given day, yes. A good offense can beat a good defense, but at the end of the day, I think defense is what wins out over time. And we've seen some incredible defense here, as it's going to be Scoot Dog and a flag down. No real reason to throw the ball here at all. Just take your victory and go back to Baltimore, as so many of these 2 teams do week in and week out. Great commitment from our fantastic players from Baltimore, from Pennsylvania, and from right here in New Jersey. Jesus saying that the Hawks are getting clapped. And GG as well to the Hawks. It certainly was a good game, at least for a little while. It was nip and tuck in the first half, but the talent of the Army shone through, and that one almost brought down on the nearest side. Now that would have been something else from Leon Anderson, who's getting his first target of the game. 16 seconds left. And there's no reason for the Army to just not take a knee here. If you are joining us on any of the other platforms, whether it be YouTube or Facebook, please turn over to Twitch immediately following the conclusion of this game for your regularly scheduled double-decker Sunday. Next 2 games exclusively on Twitch, twitch.tv/A7FL.
And it's twitch.tv/A7FL. That's right, James. And Kareem Moon is the guy you're going to want to watch in this game. If he's on the field today, you're going to want to stop what you're doing and watch him roll. Rolling out to his left.
Scoot Dog, again, pointless to put this up the way they are, but it's caught, and the Army are going to end this game with a touchdown.
A pop fly to rub salt in the wound. Scoot Dog rolling out to his left, throwing it deep and throwing it on the other side of the field, putting it up on the board to walk away today with a 31-0 victory.
Sportsmanship be damned. Timothy Johnson, known as Smoke, smoking his defenders and rolling up 6 more points. It's going to be a shutout victory for the Army, now leading this ball game 31-0. I assume they're going to try this conversion, although it's like this past touchdown just here is a moot point.
It's more for ceremony than anything. If they're going to go for the extra point, it's more for ceremony. And just that beautiful throw, landing right there, right into his pocket, knocking over his defender in process of catching the ball. And that's what some of those big plays we're going to see from the U, because the U, coming up, folks, the Patterson U, talked about Kareem Moon, talked about Big Mo Ramadan earlier today. We've been talking about him all day long with hashtag that guy touchdown. Let's look at Kareem Moon. Silky smooth. We've seen him in just a few moments. Slipping through. Going dead leg there from the Elite Eight a few years ago. That buzzer-beating victory, taking the Patterson U to the next level into the Final Four just a few years ago in the playoffs. And the Patterson U is the highest scoring offense in the A7FL, and we'll do this one-point play.
And it's going to be a double pass. The lateral to the far side, the
Tipped
pass
up
to the near side. It's incomplete, but it doesn't matter as this ball game is over. The final score is the Baltimore Army 31 and the New Jersey Hawks 0. Tune in right now if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. Right now, tune in to twitch.tv/A7FL for the Double Decker Sunday.
If you're watching on Facebook Live and YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. For James Corrigan, I'm Matt Ryan. We'll see you right here on Twitch. And folks, if you're watching us on Twitch, it's the 3-1 Patterson U, the third-ranked team in the A7FL, going up against the 7th seed Baltimore Bulldogs, a battle of two Elite Eight teams here in the A7FL. I'm Matt Ryan, joined by James Corrigan, as we're getting ready for our third game of the afternoon, as the U will take on the Bulldogs. And folks, be a part of the conversation on Twitch. Be a part and make sure that you're tagging us on Twitter. You're watching this game on Twitter at the A7FL is our Twitter handle. If anything, you're also checking us out on Facebook and Facebook Watch. Look up A7FL and A7FL TV. We'll have our final play of our second game here, the 3-on-1 throw-off. We'll have more about that 3-on-1 throw-off in just 1 second. This one is all over. It is 31-0. The Army taking the win over the Hawks. Well, it seems like we have more time on the clock.
I think there's more time here than is indicated by our official timing or it being kept on the field. Clearly a discrepancy.
We'll try to
we were all ready to wrap this one up, as it's obviously over. The Army taking the victory from the Hawks.
And there's the ball.
There was 8 seconds left in the last play, but the referee has indicated that there is more time left somehow. All of this is, of course, a moot point as we're getting set for our double-decker of games. Starting with the Patterson U's, we've talked about at length today, and the Baltimore Bulldogs, the U at 3-1, one of the powerful teams in this A7FL. The Bulldogs at 1-3, looking to bounce back.
And Ryan, looking at this Bulldogs team, what are some of the things that we need to watch out for if you've been watching them just for the first time here today?
I've only seen them against Spanktown, so it's tough to say. They got a good pass rush. You see this guy is gigantic that comes through the middle, 46. The U's going to have to deal with him, and they'll deal with him very well. I mean, the one thing about Huff, the quarterback for the U, he is unorthodox. He throws hook shots. He throws sidearm. Everybody wants to talk about Patrick Mahomes and his no-look passes and all that, but Huff, I can't explain it, man, but that ball just flies out of his hand with tremendous accuracy, and he doesn't do it often, but when he takes off and runs, he's extremely fast. Look at this hook shot. Now, that's not the one, but I mean, you look at some of these plays and the way he's throwing the ball, but with his accuracy, the kid's incredible. So I think he'll have no problem getting away from that pass rush from the Bulldogs. My prediction for this game would be 35-12, the U over the Bulldogs.
And that kind of tracks because this is the highest scoring offense in the A7FL, built off the backs of number 11, Quattrell Huffin, a.k.a. Huff. And if you're a fan of high-scoring affairs, folks, we've had some big plays and some big scores But watching the U is a completely different experience here in the A7FL. It's one of those high-scoring teams. It talked about the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. This is that kind of team. If you like big action and big plays, you're seeing them right here from the U as they, from their last game here in Jersey against the Spanktown boys in what was a spanking of the Spanktown boys. Completely disrespectful, and then the moment of all moments, the hashtag fat guy touchdown from Big Mo Ramadan. Do you think we're going to see a fat guy touchdown today, gentlemen?
I probably, when the U gets ahead, they definitely get obnoxious. Big Mo is an obnoxious human being, very good human being, but he's obnoxious when he's on the football field. So this isn't the only time I've ever seen him take a carry at the goal line. It looks like he's taking care of the football there. He's spinning away from trouble. I think we might see a fat guy touchdown for sure.
I can't wait. What about you, James?
Why not?
But that's the great thing about the A7FL. These players come from all walks of life, all across the Northeast, all with the goal of making the A7FL the must-watch league in professional football. And with moments like this, as we wind down our second game of the afternoon, we're just trying to figure out what's wrong with just how long they have left.
Yeah,
with the official timing.
It's only under 10 seconds. We
Oh, the official time
with the official, so they're keeping the score on the field. Their technicians working on getting the scoreboard back up for the third game between the Bulldogs and the U. But this should be the last play right here.
The official time is, quite frankly, if it was long run out, they're going to pick up this first down with the Hawks, but certainly that has to be the last play of this extended game, long past its expiration date. So the Army, as we've said several times, has won this game 31-0, which will finally bring us to our Patterson U and Baltimore Vikings game.